take away this cup from me. The cup, of course, is his coming crucifixion. And he says, God, take it away from me, because remember, he was perspiring drops of sweat because it was going to be a very rough trial, and he knew it. And he says, take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what you will. So he knows that he has to submit his own will and his own desires and what he deeply wanted at that moment, but he has to submit that to God's will. So that's what he's praying here. Your will be done in earth, and he was on earth, as it is in heaven, as according to God's plan. And in 2 Corinthians 12:7, and lest I should be exalted above measure. This is the Apostle Paul talking here. And he says, lest I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of the revelations. God really revealed a lot of information, a lot of biblical and spiritual depth to the Apostle Paul. There was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan, to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. When it says here, a thorn in the flesh, Paul had some sort of physical difficulty. That's what this thorn in the flesh means here. And he prayed God about it, because he says in verse 8, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, 3 times, that it might depart from me. It hindered him in his physical being, in his health. And he said to me, God said to him in verse 9, my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in the weakness. In other words, Paul, you're going to be continuing to live with this health disorder, whatever it might be. And we think it had to do with his eyes from different other contexts in Paul's writings. But Paul, you are going to keep this health problem. For my strength is made perfect in weakness. So Paul had to change his outlook towards this. And he realizes that God's strength in verse 9, and God said to him, my grace is sufficient for you. For my strength, that is God's strength, is made perfect in weakness, in Paul's physical problem. Most gladly, therefore, will I rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Christ may rest upon me. So I take pleasure, in verse 10, in my infirmity for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. So once again, we have to submit our desires, our will here on earth, to God's will and to what he has, because he knows better what we need. Unlock Scripture's core meaning with Biblical Hebrew made simple. No reading, no memorizing. Get your free mini course now. theexplanation.com/naked.